My name's Morgan Owen, and I'm from Asheville, and my husband Justin is from Brevard. Justin and I met 3 years ago. Our first date was out on a four-wheeler, and that's kind of when I knew that he was the one for me. We got engaged and we got married July 13th. We found out we were having a baby, and we were so excited. When I went to the doctor for the first time, we calculated that I was maybe 8 weeks pregnant. I started spotting, and they did an ultrasound, and they said that I had an ablated ovum, which is an empty sac pregnancy. And they were encouraging me to have a medical procedure that made me miscarry. And so I wanted to wait, but they gave me a time frame. They said after these 3 weeks are up, we can't let you wait anymore. So I went back a week later, and there was still no baby. So I had 1 more week left. So I went back the last week, and they seen a fetal pole, but they didn't see a heartbeat. So they said, okay, we see something, so we'll wait another week. We waited 1 more week, and there was a healthy baby. The doctor had no explanation for it. He was just as surprised as I was. The nurse was crying in the doctor's office with me because they didn't think that this was going to happen. At my 16-week scan, we found out that Paisley had gastroschisis. Gastroschisis is where the abdominal wall doesn't close all the way, so the intestines and other organs sometimes are able to protrude and form on the outside of the body. We found out Paisley was a girl at the same appointment that we found out that she had gastroschisis. So at one point I was elated that I was having a little girl, and at the other point I was terrified that I might not even get to meet her. I was going to the doctor 3 times a week my entire pregnancy. I had to do non-stress tests 2 times a week. On Thanksgiving night, we were put in the hospital. They started the induction, and we had her at 6 o'clock the next day. So I was able to have a vaginal delivery. Sometimes in a C-section process and pulling the baby out, the bowel can get torn. They wrapped her intestines in a bag so where they would stay moist, and they put a tube down her nose and put all her IVs in and took her straight to surgery. I was a wreck because I'm like, she's in surgery, I want to be there and I can't be there. So she got out. It only took about an hour to do the surgery. They were able to get all of her intestines put back in. Her bowel was totally healthy, which was a major ordeal, and we were very thankful for that. They took her to the NICU an hour or so after surgery. When I was finally able to see her, it was very hard on me because I wanted to make it better, and I couldn't do anything for her. So the next day, when we went up there, she was doing better. We had tubes and cords and wires everywhere, and it took about 5 people to even get her up to put her on my chest, but we were determined. And so we were able to, I was able to hold her, and I held her for like 3 hours. I was just not gonna put her down. They told us that we would be there a minimum 8 to 12 weeks, and we were discussing going home at 3.5 weeks. This was a huge deal. So Paisley's 10 months old now, and she is the happiest child I've ever seen in my life. She smiles at everybody. She loves everybody that she sees. Anywhere she goes, she's the center of attention. And she's so tough. She was just made to go through this. She was made to be this strong person. But she's basically a normal baby. There's always a potential of a bowel blockage or the stomach flipping. I just don't want to live life worrying about that. I want to enjoy her and enjoy her health and just celebrate her every day, every second of every day, and just enjoy what we have. Gastroschisis affects 1 out of every 2,000 babies. There was 5 babies in the NICU when Paisley was up there that had gastroschisis at the same time. With the March of Dimes help and with their research, hopefully someday a baby born with gastroschisis or any other birth defect can go home 2 days after they're born, and they can be put on their mom's chest, and they can do everything that a normal baby does with their parents right after they're born, and not have to spend months in the NICU and not have to have long-term medical problems. The March of Dimes funds research for every kind of birth defect, and they even do screenings on healthy babies, so it affects every single child born. The research of March of Dimes has made Paisley's life possible.